We find out that Zero tricked the original Captain Sunshine into helping him by telling him that they were going to have like a get-together for all the underlings of the world. But really what Zero was planning, which is like a really cool name by the way, was to punish all the incompetent henchmen and sidekicks who think they're heroes. Zero, the avenging henchman.
Zero, I like the name Zero because it's like the anti-hero. It's the perfect anti-hero name.
The anti-villain.
Yeah.
The anti-henchman. Is that a thing?
I don't think so. He still wears his butterfly mask, which has to be hot under the other mask that he's wearing. What?
Yeah, they definitely probably just did that so that you would recognize who he was, but still, like...
It's like, I'm wearing a mask under a mask. Under a mask?
It's not hard to see through this at all.
No. Perfect vision here. And then he says to number 1... aka Henchman 21, which by the way, the whole lid gets blown off of this because 21 says, "Oh no, I'm Henchman 1," and Zero loses it. He's like, "You are not number 1. I am number 1, or I used to be." And then he's like, "Honestly, you haven't changed one bit. Not since the day you left me to die." Ooh yeah. Those were 2 completely different reactions to that.
Yeah, so he's the one who everyone says died in the episode Return to Spider Skull Island. However, he does not die.
They don't show it.
We knew it. If you watch our first episode ever when we were vodcasting Noobs, we've grown so much, we talk about how we want to see him come back. Like he was a one-shot character we want to see come back, wish granted!
Thanks, guys.
It was so awesome. We were screaming at the TV.
Also, somebody commented on Nana's Eye that they want to see him join the Revenge Society.
Please don't let him die again. We just got him back. Do something else with him.
I mean, they like to do that. They like to toy with our emotions.
I know. So in 21 reveals the identity of Scott Hall / henchman number 1 / Zero. He goes, "Who has a number for a name? Well, I do. All henchmen do." To which I respond, do they?
We don't usually hear the other villains referring to henchmen as numbers.
We heard that like Phantom Limb called his henchmen the Shadow Men.
Yeah.
But maybe they were numbered. Because Shadow Men 9.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
You're right. Well, and it kind of goes with the job, description that if you're a henchman, you're kind of just another number. Unless you're like, Speedy or
Scott Hall.
I'm having a really hard time thinking of other examples because they're mostly just referred to as henchmen.
And then they die.
Yeah. So then there's the amazing henchman, villain, hero, sidekick reunion part. And first we notice U.S. Steel is crying because there's no ghost robot to meet him on the hill, the happy hill.
So sad.
The hill of happiness and reunion. Also, somebody else is missing.
Yeah, the Monarch isn't there to pick up 21. What the flip?
I know.
It's not okay. Where is he? They would be there.
It's been 2 episodes.
They would be there if they were okay.
And from what we saw in the trailer for next week's episode, I don't know if we're going to see the Monarch. My voice gets all high when I talk about it because I just really
It's not okay.
Where is he?
Okay.
We need our Monarch back.
And what's funny is I don't really even notice until the end of the episode. And then I'm like, wait!
Where is he?
the Monarch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not there. So then they sang a glorious song.
Take it away.
I'm not singing it. I'll say it. It'll be much less magical.
Go.
All children, children of the world, that learn to love each other, to be like sister and brother, all children, every boy and girl, are part of all the children of the world.
It's still pretty creepy.
Yeah, it is.
So, the very last line is Hank saying that he's waiting for his dad's ransom checks to clear, which is, I gotta say, extremely Dr. Venture.
Yeah.
Waiting for the cash at the end of the road.
Just give it a few more minutes. I'm waiting for the ransom checks.
I think he was embracing a little bit of his dad.
Yeah, he was. So, some amazing parts.
Yeah, we decided to pull out some of our, highlights of the show and beat them dead.
Yay!
Yay!
That's what we do best.
Of course, one of the favorite and most quoted scenes is from Hunter and Brock having a conversation about a, let's say, not quite in her prime stripper named Robin, who, my favorite part from that dialogue was saying that her boobs were like coming home from school and finding out your old man ran over your cat sad. Which, of course, to me, I'm like, you can always count on Doc Hammer for the cat humor.
Does that mean that Hunter is, or I guess was, a lesbian?
Because they went to the strip club?
Because he worked at a strip club when he was a woman.
Yeah.
But he still liked women. He wasn't gay. He wasn't into men.
So we assume.
Although he had a vagina.
Well, he was a woman.
Yeah, he was a woman.
So.
Although he was and he still liked women. I guess she.
We assume. Because he still likes them now, so I'm assuming that he's not a flipper-flopper.
I wouldn't think so. It's just weird.
It's weird.
The whole... So it was... I guess...
Is it as weird as even having that thought to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
So I'm sure you guys probably noticed that the 80s and 90s, like, ruled with this episode.
Dominated.
So, which, I mean, Doc Hammer is obsessed with...
Yeah, not surprised.
Yeah.
But it was just, like, reference after reference after reference. There was the Teddy Ruxpin, obviously.
Yeah.
We got Keenan and Kel, which were from All That originally. They also had their own show after All That.
Keenan and Kel.
The Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
My favorite was the Topanga Lawrence reference. I was such a Boy Meets World geek that I was like, oh my gosh, Topanga! Also, I loved her because she was crazy. It was brilliant.
It's for lots of hair.
Ryder Strong was in that.
Yeah, and then they reference the Coke commercial, which they don't really do those much like that anymore, but it's like more like the 90s and I think the 80s even, where it's like everyone's singing on a rooftop about, you know,
dancing about Coke,
coming to the Lord / Coke. So
also Matthew Perry. Sorry, Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Hey.
You're gonna get hate mail from Matthew Perry.
I know.
I'm not from the 90s, damn it. I do things today.
I'm still alive.
Can you see 17 again?
I was thinking of the whole 9 yards, which was like also from the 90s. Fools Rush In, also from the 90s. Yeah, I'm ready to say his peak was in the 90s.
What would I say?
The Hank and Dr. Venture moment was so touching. I may have gotten a little teary-eyed. Yeah. It was perfect.
Perfect. We were squealing.
Yeah. Doc has always favored Dean because he felt like he could have or should have been Rusty Venture, Boy Adventurer.
Yeah.
And he believes it so much.
Yeah. And
he's innocent, but he actually feels bad for Hank because Hank is a lot like him, Dr. Venture. He said, you know, like, he kind of got thrown into this life and he didn't have a choice. And that's kind of why he heaps stuff on Hank. Because while he wants Dean to be what he could never be, Hank, he knows that Hank can take it. And Hank he doesn't want to be a boy detective when he grows up, you know? Like, he wants to do something else with his life.
Yeah, he said, Dr. Venture said, I see so much of myself in that boy that I want to apologize to him for his existence. He can't win. He's a Venture. He'll never shake it.
That's so sad.
It's so sad.
And it was like this touching moment where you're like, because I mean, forever we've just been like, obviously he likes Dean more than Hank. Like, he's always throwing Hank to the wolves, and, you know, like, he taught Dean about science and Pink Floyd and also other progressive rock.
Dr. Venture isn't, like, a huge fan of Dr. Venture. So if the kid, Hank, really reminds him of himself, you can kind of see why there's some situation.
So cute.
I know.
It was so cute.
But this is the same man who thinks that he's a collector's item, you know?
Yeah.
So, was this, like, a weird moment of clarity for him, or, I don't know.
I felt like it was. Yeah. Also, thoughts about Dean?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
What does it mean?
For Dean.
For Dean. I don't think that he's... Like you said, he doesn't really want to be a boy scientist. Or like
super scientist,
he doesn't have to be a boy
scientist. Doesn't, I mean, when Dr. Venture tried to add it to his list, he was like, no, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to do that with my life.
Although he is holed up reading science books or chemistry books or whatever.
Cathode ray tube.
Yeah. So, I mean, it might be on his path, you know, anyway, but he...
What was that about with hatred? When he went in to talk to Dean and he was like... He asked if he's reading porn or having sex with a sock or if he's playing with fireworks or was hiding a girl, something like that. And Dean was like, no, I'm just reading. I just want to read. I don't want to bust my dad's balls, you know? Like, he was just like... And Hatred was, like, really disappointed that Dean wasn't up to something bad. And I think he was like... He's all about Hank when Hank has the ideas to, like, you know, like, do something kind of, like, adventurous. But he's like, reading will get you nowhere. I'm really disappointed in you, to Dean. Which, I mean, it kind of just shows that, like, they're nothing alike.
It's like Hank is all about being a part of this world. And, like, he wants to be part of Sphinx. You know, like, he's all about it. He's, like, hook, line, and sinker. But Dean is kind of checking out.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to be involved. If you've noticed, like, he hasn't spoken in that much in, like, episodes.
No, he doesn't talk a lot anymore.
And he's by himself.
Kind of introverting. Reading a lot.
Just...
You know, maybe he'll... What was on his list? Boy detective. Was it journalist? Husband. Wants to be a husband. Wants to start a family.
He kind of want to live, like, a normal-ish life, I guess. He just seems really distant from everybody and us.
Yeah, it feels like he's trying to pull away.
Mm-hmm. But he can't. And he shan't.
He's ours forever.
So, in closing, thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. And we appreciate, like, we've gotten some really, really sweet, like, comments and, like, messages.
We got our first video reply today from Mike the Piper.
It made, like, our day.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And people just saying, like, oh, you're kind of like my nerd friends that I don't have who don't watch the show or whatever.
So I get to geek out and watch your podcast, which is so, like, we love it.
That was
so flattering.
Exactly why we started it.
Which is the whole reason we do this is because we're like, well, we don't have anyone to listen to us prattle on about the Venture Brothers.
So we'll broadcast it
to the world, and maybe a few people will like it.
Yeah.
So thank you, few people, for liking it.
Yep. So tune in next week while we talk about episode 4 of season 4.2. It's Sunday at 11:30. Everybody comes to Hank's.
It looks like it was all in black and white, so I'm really excited to see what happens. It was kind of like the film noir, like the Dick Tracy kind of style.
As you said during the preview, I bet they saved a lot of money doing that.
I don't know how it is in animation, but in printing, like, if you do something grayscale, you save a lot of money.
It probably...
Because they didn't have to pay somebody to digitally color all of those...
Time is money.
Cells.
That was actually the alternative title to this episode. So, Ventureroos, have a great week. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for following.
Bye!